everyone. This is a Viper Professional Training and Support webinar. Today is going to be, the title of today's webinar is Peace of Mind in Every Stage of Life Trading Futures. And as everyone knows, it's been to our webinars or our live trading room, everything that is said and done at Viper Trading Systems is for educational purposes only. Futures trading, Forex trading, any kind of financial instruments trading involves risk. Therefore, there's always risk of loss. You should only trade discretionary capital, and that is money that you can afford to lose. Nothing said in this webinar. Other webinars we have, our live trading room or anything else with Viper Trading Systems should never be construed as trading or investment advice. And as always, everyone does trade at their own sole discretion. Any questions on the disclaimer? All right, if not, we'll go ahead and get started. By the way, just a real quick to let you know, Viper has been in business since 2009. So, you know, we're kind of old hat at this. We know what we're doing. And now, if you've been with us before, you noticed that it was usually basically a trading partner of mine named Charles that was always in the room. Charles actually passed away. So, you know, Viper Trading Systems is just me in the room in the mornings and the scripts that have been developed by Viper Trading Systems, and we all try to get nicely green every single day of the week. So basically what I did after Charles passed away, I totally revamped the website, because with just one person kind of handling things, it needs to be a lot more automatic. So everything in Viper now is pretty automatic to where, you know, you can get your scripts without sending emails and things like that. You know, this is our homepage right here, vipertradingsystems.com. And again, we've been in business since 2009. So that's literally, you know, a good long time, okay, 14 years. And this is our homepage right here. This is our new logo that we've got. Now, on our site, you can actually sign up for a trial. You know, we've got a free 7-day trial. And this is even going to include the new scripts that I'm going to show you here in just a moment, because we've literally been revamping the scripts on Ninja 8 to do some automatic things that we really wanted to do, and we've been wanting to do this for quite some time. Okay, but being our homepage right here, now if you need to contact me, you know, to get in touch with me, I think this is the contact link right here. No, that's the free trial. There's the contact. Okay, if you need to contact me, just simply click this little link right here, and you can put in your first name, last name, email address, phone number, and a brief message, and I will get back with you. Okay, now one thing about Viper Trading Systems is ever since we've been in business, we are not one of those that, you know, lags on getting back with you. Our support is top notch. Okay, and the reason it is, frankly, because I make sure it's top notch. You've got the phone number right to my desk right there. Okay, you can call that anytime in these hours right here, usually even a little bit later than this. I try to cut it off, you know, sometime, obviously, but you know, if I see that, for instance, a member needs help on like a Saturday and I see this phone ringing, I will answer it if I'm around. Okay, but I will be getting back with you regardless. And we're so automated now that if you send me a message on here, I could be, you know, at Six Flags over Texas, you know, with my grandkids, but still get your reply because it comes right through on a program that we have now, a CRM management type program that's very automatic. So you can get in touch with me by contact link. You can also get in touch with me by our little chat widget. Our chat widget, you just simply click the little support deal right here. Same thing, name, address, you know, name and email and stuff like that, so that I can get back in touch with you. All right. And also, just real quick to let you know, we have an area of our site that is for members. Okay, once you're a member with Viper Trading Systems, you've got access to lots of videos in the members area. You've even got a free video library that a lot of people get by just coming into our site. You're welcome to do that too. We've got our area to download scripts. We've got our weekly links. Okay, so a person never has to worry about getting the links for the week or something like that. A member can just simply go in, click on it, and there's your Viper Live Trading Room, and there's your training webinar for the week. You just simply click them, and that's the link to get to the webinar tonight. And this is the link to get to the room for all week. Now you should have that because we sent out a lot of emails to invite people into our trading room this week so that you can find out what it's like to get peace of mind trading. Because even, for instance, even as basically slow and choppy as oil was, we still had some great 10-tick trades. And I'll show you how to get those, okay? And they were called out in real time too. All right, so let's see here. We got the little chat widget right here that you can put your name, email, and a message. This goes immediately to our cell phones. There's 4 of us that watch this, so you will be gotten back in touch with. Okay, so if you have any issues, I also use TeamViewer. I help people by TeamViewer all the time. Just click this little link right here, download TeamViewer, and I'm right here to help you put the scripts on, help you with Apex account, whatever you need. I'm here to help you. NinjaTrader type deals. You have a problem with NinjaTrader, just download TeamViewer, give me a shout at this number right here, and I'll be more than happy to help you, okay? And you can also email me. That's my email address at support@vipertradingsystems.com. And I'm also always on Skype too. So I've got Skype going for you, I've got email going for you, I've got my phone number. So you can get in touch with me pretty easy, okay? So let me talk to you a little bit about what we've done. If you've never been with us before, you probably won't know a lot about a little tool that we've got called Object Trader. But Object Trader was designed so that a person could actually have a trade panel on the right-hand side of the chart with a lot of features on it, okay? Now, the way that you go into this is you simply right-click on your chart, you go to Strategies, all right, and I'm on Strategies right now, and I double-click my Object Trader, and then I just simply enable it, okay, and you'll be able to see. Now, I'm going to put this on playback just so I can show some of the trades that set up today and that were called out, even some of them. And then you just simply hit OK, and it brings up this little panel right here, okay? Now, lately, we've added some trades to Object Trader. I mean, you're able to do right-click trades. You can right-click and put in a sell limit, a sell market, a buy-stop market, a buy-stop limit, just by simply hovering your mouse over the area you want to trade, just like Chart Trader on NinjaTrader. Okay, so that's available with our scripts. Okay, now if you've ever been with us before, you notice that what we do is we trade trend changes. So we go from one trend to the next, and then we're looking for the particular type of trade that sets up. In this case, you would be looking for what we call a mid-band trade. Okay, and we have a little tool on here that you can actually take this trade too. The way you do it is you simply turn on predictor above, which is that predictor right there. And since we would want to only take the trades that go this direction, we could even turn on require trend to get it. And by doing that, we could actually simply take the trade as soon as it touches like our predictor. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. When a bar closes, whether it closes up or down, it will draw a box around this little area right here. And this is what we call a region. And this will actually draw the region for you. Then you just simply turn it on. Now, since we don't have a box, we can just leave this off for right now. That's our enable switch, okay? But if that bar closes up, you will actually see a little box draw around this predictor area. And these are very accurate little predictors too, by the way, especially first time into trend change. See over here, trend change, first time in, boom. Second time in, boom. You don't want to do third and fourth, okay? This is first time in, so that's this probability of a trade right here to happen again right here because it's first time in after a trend change. So in that room, I'll actually call these trades out so that you can actually take these trades, okay? Now, as soon as this actually closes, let me just speed this up just a little bit and I'll show you how this will do. This little box will draw as soon as you get a closed bar, okay? Now, when you first put it on, obviously, the very first bar we're looking at is this one right here. See how that draws that little box right there? Now, I could actually just go ahead and take that trade if it just simply touches that box, or I can even hit a sell because it's already touched the box, okay? So for instance, if I want that trade right there, I could even add to it if it happens to touch the box again. I could put my stop down wherever I want it. I always look to the left to trade the right when I'm trading. So I'm going to be looking down in this area right here. Always draw on your charts. And predictor says it should come down to here. Okay. So that little trade basically fires by what we call a predictor type trade. Okay. Now I could put my stop nice and tight now. You know, I've got like a 7-tick stop on this trade. I'm only trying to go for 20 ticks or so, which is a $200 trade. And then it's just a matter of just wait for the trade to come to me. And I'm waiting for it to come to fruition down here. Okay. So basically what we have designed to help you out with is some great tools that will actually, you know, help you see the trade as well as to take the trade. You can manage the trade with what we call trail stops. You know, obviously trail stops are trail stops, but we call it our trail stop because we can do it with our little power trend. We can do it with lines on the chart and things like that. Okay. Now, the most important thing though in trading is if you're in a trading room, what do you expect out of it the most? Anybody? You expect those trades to be called in real time and not after the fact, right? Because that's super important to get those trades. Now, when I'm in that trading room, I'm going to be drawing all over those charts and I'm going to be telling people, you know, hey, if it breaks this box, we're taking a long. If it breaks this box, we're taking a short. If it breaks this line, we're looking for a pullback and a rollover. I'll be calling that in real time. And, you know, for instance, our people know that this little trade right here is simply nothing but a short, okay? Because we changed trends. Our little mid band clearly tells us that. And then we just simply wait for the trade to totally be at fruition. Now we could actually even go to break even plus if we want to. And we have a little tool here too that, let's say I wanted to go to break even, like, I don't know, -2. I can actually put my stop right there, okay? That way, even while I'm in a trade, now keep in mind we've only got one contract on here, so we obviously want to do what? Well, we want to protect the trade. I would probably even add one to see how it's kissing and trying to roll. Now we can actually manage this trade even better. I'll go to break even, like, let's just go to minus like 5, and that's right up there. See how I can do that in real time? The beauty of our scripts is that I designed all of this with object traders so that you could take these trades and manage them quite well, okay? Now, we've got some other features on here, obviously lots of features. If you become a trial taker with us, it costs you nothing. By the way, somebody was asking, well, how much is your trial? Well, a trial should be free, right? Most vendors out there don't give you a trial. We trust our scripts enough to give you a trial. We'll also give you time in the trading room. So if you just simply go to the home page, click on trial, don't try to download the scripts just yet because I'm going to give you these. And I'm getting ready to actually put those available so that you can actually take them, okay? And the results, by the way, can be very, very good. We have a lot of people that trade their own accounts. We have a lot of people that trade like Apex, Bulanox, UProfit, Top Step Trader, One Up Trader. If y'all need any guidance on any of those, I'll be more than happy to help you with that too. One of my favorites personally is Apex because they give such deep discounts. A person can literally learn to trade without, you know, selling the farm, so to speak. So I really like them. Okay. So, you know, we've got our stop in. Now, should we go ahead and take some profit on this trade? Probably so. Matter of fact, when you get to a couple $100, you might want to get rid of one contract. Okay. And you can just be sitting there waiting on it. You know, the moment it hits 200, you can just hit the button. We're not risking but 5 ticks, right? So we're good to go. There's a couple of $100, so cover one. Bring your stop. We're right along in here, just in case they come back above that resistance right there that's now support. You can always protect yourself. You can even put it right there if you want to. If it comes back above that line, take the coin. It's that easy, okay? Now, I open the room every single day at 10 minutes till, okay? Now, what kind of a trade are you looking for again? Anybody? You're looking for, it's already showing you, it's a mid-band trade. So we simply turn our predictor on again, see our predictor above. And this trade, by the way, was called in the room live too. But a lot of our people just had our predictor going and then they watched it. And if it didn't quite touch the predictor, we've even got a feature called offset on it. Let's say that it gets within 2 ticks of that predictor. I can just tell it, you get 2 ticks within near that box and you roll over, I'm going to take you anyway. I can set my contracts right here. I can set my max number of contracts also. Now this is a neat little feature because this will let you choose how many total contracts you want to do if you put it on auto trade. Okay, for instance, if I just want to do 2, I just simply put that on 2 and it won't let you trade over 2 contracts because that's the max quantity that I've set. Okay, got some really neat stuff in here. Object Trader has been designed for literally like the last 9 years of the 13 years we've been in business, pretty close to that, I think. And see this little sweet spot right here, what's called the mid-band. If you were trading this, I'm gonna give you a little extra training right here because if you've been trading a while, you know what a downtrend is, right? Lower highs and lower lows, okay? So wouldn't you expect this to hold on a pullback? So if it gets anywhere in this little sweet spot for a trade, we could actually take that trade, right? Okay, now watch predictor. It'll figure out these prices and it may draw again. And if it does, this box will change positions. Okay, so we'll see if it does. Let's just see if it kind of pulls back up or what we're going to do. But we're already out of this trade, so we're not going to chase the trade way down here. Okay. Now let me ask another quick question. With basically what's going on in the economy and everything, you've noticed probably the price of eggs has gone through the roof, the price of chicken's gone through the roof, the price of beef, steaks, everything's pretty much gone through the roof, right? I mean, is that going to end anytime soon, or are we all going to need these extra incomes so that we can have peace of mind? You know how many people in this country right now are actually not able to feed their families because all this stuff went so high in price? You know, think about it. You know, if you work for a living, okay, and let's say that you had a set budget, okay, and then all of a sudden gas goes to $4 a gallon, and you were used to paying $2.50. Now I'm not going to get into politics or anything like that. I'm just getting into cold hard facts. It costs more to live today than it did 4, 5, 6, 8 years ago. We expect it to go somewhat, but it's to the point that if you're trying to feed your family, you'll find that it gets fairly difficult to do so unless you've got a killer job. Okay, so a lot of people have kind of taken up a side job of trading. Now trading, I'm going to tell you the ups and downs of it, because a lot of people lose money trading too. Okay, the matter of fact, the rule of thumb is it's very high up there as far as losing versus gaining. And the reason is, with most people, what happens is they chase markets. They don't wait for the retrace trade. Okay, they put too tight of stops or too loose of stops, which obviously would be the flip side of that. But the most important part of it is that you wait for the trade to come to you. Okay, we are mid-band and phantom traders as a rule. I'll give you an example of that. All right, let's say that you had been, this is April 16th right here. This is today, you know, after 5 p.m. last night, okay? So basically you have what's called mid-band trades, mid-band trade, mid-band trade, phantom trade, okay? They break down, you wanna go the other direction. See that trade right there? Stair-stepping mid-band, you wait on the trade to come to you. Okay. Still heading down, then it headed up. You had a little phantom trade. That one might have worked, it might not have, but let's just say you didn't get that one. But this one that I just drew on the chart, you did get, and now you're looking for another trade. Predictor will draw. See predictor drawing right there? Now, what if we decide if it gets within a couple of ticks of that predictor that we want that trade? We can just simply set our offset. Now, one thing keep in mind too, that when you're in the trading room, I actually called this trade out live. Okay, we drew on our charts. We know where the trade is because predictor and midband's telling us. Okay, and this predictors, what they're based on is looking at these minor swings. They look at Fibonacci's, they look at Fibonacci extensions, they look at measured moves, they look at all kinds of things. They even look at trend lines. You know, if you see a beautiful trend line on your chart, you can pretty much bet a predictor will be there predicting it before you ever draw your trend line. So these are pretty powerful little tools too. Okay. And again, the key to it though is first time after a trend change, go with the overall trend. Okay. The overall trend at this time, you know, was pretty much down, right? So you're looking for a lot of these trades like this to the downside. And that's what you do. You wait for the trade to come to you. Okay. Now with Object Trader, by the way, with the ability to put in your stop, puts in your targets, you can put in your trail stop. You can do anything you want with this. I could even say, you know what if you don't get up to predictor? What if I just want to do a right click trade and sell to at market? I can do that too. What if I decide, you know what if it doesn't get me into this trade at this line? I could put another one right under here, but whoa, it wouldn't. There you go. You just got the trade. Okay. So basically what you got is you've got what's called a predictor trade. Now, if I wanted to change the contracts, I can actually even set this at like 3 if I want to. I missed that one just now, but anyway, you can do that. All right. And we're just trying to simply get a trade. And if you were in the room this morning, I called this trade. Okay. We looked to the left to trade the right, and I called 76. If you were in the room, you heard it too. Okay. So you just simply put your targets where I call the trades. And keep in mind that a lot of this is looking left to trade the right, and I'll teach you how to do that. Now, let me ask you a quick question. Once you get nicely green like this, could you just simply quit for the day? Sure you could, okay? Because let me just go over it just to give you an example. Let's say 10 years ago, you decided to trade for a living. You'd need to put aside about $5,000 to $10,000 to trade. Okay, nowadays you can get micros, so you can get them a lot cheaper. But let's say that you want to trade for somebody else instead and just get a 1099 at the end of the year from them and trade their money. Well, then you have no downside, because if you lose money on a trade, you don't lose money with a vendor. And I'll go over some of that with you too if you want to. But we can do that more on Thursday when I'll invite you back after being with me for a week, almost a week, and then I'll show you some of the really neat deals that you can get with us. I run training webinars every Monday night. I run the trading room 5 days a week. Now, when I had my business partner with me, basically calling the trades, it was 2 of us in the room, but now it's 1. And I'll be around for you as long as the good Lord lets me. Okay, and there's you, by the way, a trade. And that trade was called exactly to 76 this morning. If you were in the room, you heard it. Okay, so let me ask you a question. If you're the type of trader that just holds a trade, let's say you got in this trade. Well, let's say you're a chaser instead. So you saw this happening. You said, well, this looks like it might be trying to break down. Oh, mercy, it's trying to break down. Oh, mercy, it's trying to break down. And then you get in all the way down here because you're finally convinced that it's heading down. So guess what markets do to you? They retrace. And that's the trade we want. Okay. That's the trade we want. That's the trade we want. These trade setups like this are really, really, really good. Okay. And you'll find them on any chart as far as that goes. I'll show you gold just to give an example. Bear with me a second. I'll show you gold. Now let's just do it like this. We'll just pull up gold. All right, you should be able to see a gold trade, a gold setup right here. If you were in the room this morning, you heard me call what's called a phantom trade right here. Now, did it work out to be just an absolutely great trade? Well, with 2 contracts, it got you 200 bucks. But this trade is what we call a phantom trade. And what you do with this particular trade, you're looking first time in after a trend change, see how the trend changed from down to up. You're looking for mid-band, which it never fired, and you get your phantom trade. Now, we've got some tools that'll actually even tell you when these trades fire too. Your phantom long, these little bars are going to flash right through here. Okay. So when I call a trade like that, and that turns out to be a great trade, then you just got yourself a couple $100 bucks. Okay. That's first time in after a phantom trade. Now, what if this decided to head down like it had been doing instead? Well, guess what? We're retracement traders. So what do we do when we're trading? We look for a retracement trade. First time in after a trend change. Okay. So that's the kind of traders that we are. Now, if you're going to chase trades, you're not going to make money. Because, for instance, would you chase this trade right here? Well, you might get 10 ticks, but you should already be in it if you were. Okay. But since we're retracement traders instead, we wait for the trade to come to us. Okay. So see, here's a little trade. This was called in the room, by the way, and our people did get 10 ticks on that trade. But since you're a retracement trader, what kind of trade are you looking for here? We're looking for a retracement trade. We have a new tool called Region Auto. Now, Region Auto, what it does is it will draw with each 2 bars that fully close. Okay. So what we're looking for at least mid-band to take a trade. Okay. This is stair stepping again. Remember I said, what do you do when it's stair stepping? You wait for the trade to come to you. Okay. So we have a new tool that basically what this is going to do, it's going to continue drawing this box. See how it draws 2 bars? Here's another 2 bars that are setting up. So guess what we could actually do with this little setup right here? We can wait for it to at least go up to resistance, which is right across here, like so, looking left to trade the right. Okay. And then once it touches that, we can go ahead and turn on our little auto region, and we'll go ahead and set it up ahead of time so it's only looking for shorts. And then see how auto region is still stair stepping to the upside right now? Okay, we'll watch, and the moment we see it trying to turn, we'll turn on the auto feature of it and let it take a short out of the bottom of the box. And see how that little box is drawing right now? See how it keeps drawing upward? Well, we're now at that resistance area, so guess what we could do? We could just simply turn our little region auto on, and if it touches the bottom of that box, it will fire it, and then we'll wait and see if it goes any higher. Now our stop would be right here at this particular moment, but see how it's trying to roll over a little bit? It might be a fake. That's fine if it is. Our little auto turns it off. We can go back in the trade again if we want to also by simply turning on that box again. Okay, so we'll wait and see if this trade works and gets us our target, or if we have to go in a little bit higher. Okay, we'll find out here in just a minute, but watch auto region as it does this. And by the way, in the room this morning, I also called this particular trade too, because we keep boxing it in. Okay, now what if you would have said, you know what, I don't want it just to touch the box, I want it to touch plus say 2 instead. Then if you turn it on, it has to go 2 ticks below the box. That way you don't just get wicked in. Okay, now watch what this will actually do. See how it's drawing? Drawing again. Can't go any higher than this or it's going to be a long. So you just simply let your little auto box wait for the trade to come to you. Okay, you can even use the top of the box if you want to do what's called a short inside. But if you wait for the little break, you'll find that you'll be a little bit more, what I consider to be a little bit more conservative trade. Okay. So let's just say that all we want on this trade is 12 ticks. Let's just go for 10 and put it on 2 contracts. See, that won't go over 2 even if we put it on auto now. Okay. So then it's just a matter of waiting for the box to do its thing. Now keep in mind again, this line was drawn in the room this morning because if they did decide to break this and kiss it, we could actually look for a long trade. But until it breaks that, you're not. Okay. Now see, we got that set on 2. Notice that it touched the bottom of the box, but it has not fired yet. Okay. Now I can even turn this on right here, and if it even touches the top of the box, it will fire the trade. Okay. So when I was calling this trade in the room this morning, this was basically saying box it in, but notice how our little box will actually box that in for you. There's your trade right there. Everybody see that? So you look to the left to trade the right. You got a little swing right down there. See it right there? That's probably where I'd be going for a target. Okay. If I wanted any more contracts, I could just simply set my to 3 instead and turn it on again if I wanted to, because it will fire it if it meets the criteria. And if the box keeps going up, it won't fire another one. See, it just fired the 3rd one because it got within 2 ticks of the top of the box inside and it fired. Okay. So that's how cool some of our tools are. And the one thing that I've taught for 13 years, even along with my business partner, was this: don't ever get mad at your particular instrument you're trading. Joke around with it, okay? Because everybody likes to get upset. Well, they don't like to get upset, but it's human nature. If a trade goes against you, for instance, some people get into what's called revenge mode, okay? If you look for every trade to come to you, your averages are going to be way up there and you're going to do pretty good in your trading. Okay. See how that just kind of rolled over? So we're happy campers, right? We don't have to worry about this trade. Everybody sees that, right? And you use your little box to do it. This trade was called in the room literally when this little box was right there. We had our people box it in. See how that box keeps drawing? Could I actually keep adding to this trade if I wanted to? Well, we got an auto feature on it that'll actually let you add and even change your max contracts. But how about just waiting for the trade to do what we want it to do? I could put my stop nice and tight. I could even go to break even plus or whatever I want to do right here, because all this is done. You know, I can let my trade run with the swing if I want to, or I can put my stop wherever I want to. And you can do it on the fly, which means by doing it on the fly, this can be moved in real time wherever you want it. Okay. Now see how it's almost gotten down to our target. Matter of fact, our little predictor is telling us where it should hit its head, and probably no further than that right there. And I usually like to fade those a little bit, something like that, and then see if you can get the trade. Now, could you keep riding this trade if you want to? Absolutely, but you can also just look for the dollars to come in too. Okay, see how it's retracing a little bit? Got a swing right over here to the left. Right there. You don't want it to take that out. Watch it kiss it though. They do that. I called that in the room too. I said, you know, watch them kiss this. And then if they roll, could you actually add one if they rolled over? See how it's doing a little kiss of resistance right there, right where I got my line drawn. There's you another trade right there. You got a total of 4. See how easy that is to do? Now keep in mind, if this was going the other direction, we might want to be careful with this, because it looks like we're really, really close to cost anyway. And see, they're barely taking it out. No big deal. You need anytime you're trading, you always got to diagnose your chart. And again, I said, what's the definition of a downtrend? High, low, lower high, lower low, okay? If this takes out this high right here, it is no longer heading down. And you can take that to the bank, because when they are doing a high, low, lower high, they'll usually get a lower low, okay? And what we do is we draw these boxes and we kind of expect them to go back in the box. See how it just kissed it? The little box that I said to draw? Now, does that mean you couldn't have taken some coins so far? Absolutely. But notice how you get a high, low, lower, low, and you can even tell where this trade's going if you do what's called a measured move. See if I can draw it in real time. It's about right down there at the bottom of that box. And that's the way you can trade. And I'll teach you all of this in Viper, because I pride myself in the fact that I believe we're one of the only rooms out there that doesn't just pull up trades on a chart. I explain to you why they're being pulled up in real time, because that builds up your muscle memory and you start seeing these trades in real time. Now, if you were in the room this morning, you absolutely heard that call, okay? Did that turn into be a $1,000 trade? No, but I think it was close to 500. Will it be a $1,000 trade with 4 contracts? Well, it came down to that line because I drew it ahead of time, and I drew it with this measured move even, okay? So let me just fast forward this just a little bit and show you what actually happened. See it going right down there to where I said it would. Now, will it go a little bit lower? It might. But what's your job as a trader? There you go. You just got you a trade. All right. That's the way you do it. And that's the way you can do it in real time too. Now, if you were trading oil, for instance, after the room closed, I'm going to show you a couple of things that will prove what I'm saying is correct. Okay. So bear with me a second. I'm going to go to actual account. I got to turn this one off first. Bear with me a second. Got to go. That's real-time data coming up. Give it just a moment. And then I'm going to show you what I talked about. All right. If you were in the room this morning on gold, you heard this trade called. This is what's called a phantom trade. Now I'm going to go ahead and go to oil though in just a minute. But this is called a phantom trade. And what you're looking for is these bars to flash. Okay, now that may be too far back. I need to turn the indicator on for, no, they're flashing, they're flashing. See them flashing? That's telling you that that's a phantom trade. So our people just simply box that in and take that trade, okay? Let me go to oil real quick. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn this to pause for just a minute because I wanna show you some trade setups. That's on April 9th. What in the world? Just a second. I need to reconnect. Anytime you've been on playback, you gotta reconnect on your live data. Let's see if that gets it. Yeah, well, no. Just a second. That's weird with live data. It's not coming through. Bear with me a second. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pause it for just a second and I'm going to restart Ninja because this is going to pull up my Apex account. Bear with me a second. But we got to get it to show everything that happened obviously through right now because it's 11:39 a.m. Bear with it just a moment. And I'm going to go to Apex. And let's see if what I said just a minute ago pans out. Okay, first off, you got a trend change. See your trend change? Short, right? What happened at 950 area? It popped up. What did it do to my indicators? It changed the mid band to a lime green, which is long. So what are we looking for on a case like that? We're looking for that trade right there, long. And we would simply box it in and take the trade. And then you draw on your chart and you say, okay, if you come up to here, I'm going to be a happy camper. But if you roll over with a lower high, I'm going to kill the trade. So you get the trade. It's a nice trade, and you just got your profit target. Close enough. Everybody see that? That's good enough, right? Now, what happens after, though, we close the room at 10 o'clock, okay? Watch for a trend change. There's another mid-band trade, by the way. See it? Where's your line in the sand long short? Well, if you've been in our room, you know that. That's your line in the sand long short right there. So if they break that, what are they doing? What are they doing to my indicator? Well, in this case, you're going to look for what kind of trade? You're going to be looking for short, okay? We even call this trade in the room. Now, the room was closed by then, but if I have a trade like this set up, I will call this trade in the room so you can get this short, okay, because it broke our line in the sand long short. But watch what happens with our indicators. You're looking for a mid-band type trade setup. And once you get it, it can go down lower. You know, you should be short from way up here, but we've got what we call a mid-band indicator that'll be watching for that trade. That's a mid-band, by the way, a mid-band trade setting up. If you're drawing on your charts, you see you've got a swing right across here. That's a low, a high, a lower low. It's got to stay under here to continue heading down. And so what do? You box it in. This little trade right there would go short on that box right there. And you'll see this time and time again. It headed down, didn't it? It does what we call ratcheting down. You've got a high, you got a low, you got a lower low. Ratchet it down. So what are you looking for again? Well, the way I teach it, you're looking for another mid-band trade. Okay. So what do? You get another trade set up, rolls over. There's another trade. And if you don't think our stuff will catch this, watch this. Alert, mid-band short, that bar will flash. That bar is supposed to flash. These bars are flashing right here. Maybe my timing. But anyway, let me slow my cursor down for a second so you can see them. See those bars flash right there, though? Beautiful trade setups. This particular trade right here is what we call a predictor trade. And like I said, our little predictor will draw this in real time. And you can actually set the little region to short it. Okay? And you got another nice trade. By the way, I actually traded that after the room closed, getting ready for this webinar. And that was killer move, by the way. Okay. So on trade calls that were called out today, just to let you know real quick, I'm gonna go ahead and put up this account that I traded today. Bear with me 1 second. I got to get to my control center to see which account I traded. I traded Apex. Here it is. Just a second. Enable the strategy. All right. And here's what happened with crude oil today. We actually called, I'm gonna just let you know now, these trades that were after the room closed, I can't count those except for the fact that I traded them, okay? But if you go back in the room time, when I opened the room and everything, all you had to do, matter of fact, the very first trade that I called, that made you more than $200. This trade was called, it's called a phantom, that made you $200. This trade was called long because I boxed it in and I had a box drawn there. That was $200. This was a phantom trade. That was $200. This is another phantom trade. That was $200. So all a person has to do, this trade was also called, see this high, low, same high? This was what I had drawn as my line in the sand, long, short. So the moment it took that out, we shorted it. That trade was more than $200. So that's all a person has to do to get the peace of mind that you have extra money. I mean, you can do things like, just to give an example, I didn't trust the electric company because it seemed like I was constantly losing. You know, if you get wind in Oklahoma, and by the way, Oklahoma is one of the windiest states, uh, then you know they get those lines that'll kind of get basically a break in your electricity for just a split second. I was just talking to my neighbor the other night, and he said, you know, he goes out of town to his ranch, which is near Ponca City, and he said every time he comes back, he has to set his clocks. And I got tired of that, and the fact that I like to be independent. So with trading capital, I bought solar. You can buy a boat, you can buy a car. If you like an electric car, you know, buy you an electric Hummer, whatever. The whole thing is that when you trade for a living, you should be able to stay nicely green. And my goal is not to necessarily show you the trades on mine, because I want to teach you to see the trades. If you've been into a lot of trading rooms, I was watching one the other day, Lilu was running one, okay? And a guy did 5 micros and he got $194. Very, very good, okay? And he showed that. But I can tell you this, that most people that would have watched that would have not known why he got in that trade. My goal is to teach you why we get in trades and to call them in real time so that we can take the trades. Okay. The trading room is open, pardon me, 7:50 Central Time until 8 o'clock, pardon me, till 10 o'clock Central Time. So we're open 2 hours and 10 minutes. You can get nicely green in that time, just like I showed you, $200. Okay. We didn't take this trade right here, you know, after the room just barely opened and everything, but we had a box drawn down here and we got that trade, $200. So just think about it. If you were in the room and you got this trade's 200, that trade probably could have been, but let's just don't even count it. Let's count this one because that one was definitely drawn in the room. We had a box drawn right here. That's where our support was. Boom, we grabbed the trade. We had a box drawn. And by the way, this little box will take those trades if you just simply turn it on to Region Auto and take some of those trades like that. Okay. I'll also draw in the room, you know, where your line in the sand long short is in real time so that you'll see it. If it breaks it, you know, then you're looking the other direction. But we'll make sure that we're looking at the proper direction based on the colors of the mid band. Let's see, Eric, on your question, are you trading an Apex account to qualify or are you already funded? I've actually got a total of 16 accounts that are funded with Apex. They had the best deal going. I had actually only wanted to do like 4 or 5, you know, but when they do those deals at $36, you know, I even told my wife, I said, you know, I can trade one of these accounts on a, you know, a daily basis or a couple of them. By the way, if anybody wants to kind of know about some of that stuff, uh, with Apex, once you get past what they call their threshold, you're home free. Now, when you're evaluating, if you draw down $2,500 period from your high, you can lose that account. But once you get past $3,100 on a $50,000 account, you're home free. You don't ever have to worry about a drawdown anymore because then you get above that and above that and above that. Then you've got it to where your drawdown just automatically at 50,100. So that's a pretty good place to be. And they also offer one-time fees instead of monthly fees. See, a lot of them out there charge you, you know, like $110 a month per exchange, like Top Step does. Apex charges you $140 for a $50,000 account one time once you're funded. So once you're funded with Apex, then you don't have to worry about paying them a dime after that. They'll pay you. So, it's pretty cool. I'll go over that real quick. If y'all want to do something like this, even without being with me, I don't care. I mean, it's up to you. But if you go to our homepage, you'll see that I've got a little deal here for a 90% discount on Apex. That's through Thursday. So just think about this. You can get a $50,000 account for 18 bucks. You can listen to my trade calls and get it funded. And then they'll pay you the first $25,000, 100%. And then after that, they pay 90%. So that kind of is pretty nice not to even have to use your own money. Because if you think about it, just think about this. Let's say you use your own money and you get into, say, 3 contracts. And all of a sudden you get an emergency alert on your phone that, all of a sudden the dollar is no longer the reserve currency. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but let's say that something like that did happen. It would blow through your stop so fast that you'd lose your shirt. Okay. I mean, have you ever seen it where a market shotguns? I mean, to give an example, if you're in gold and you're on the wrong side of it when news comes out at 7:30 a.m. Central Time, you just messed yourself up big time, because I've seen them drop 100 ticks and I've seen them go up 100 ticks in a split second. So the one thing about doing somebody else's money that I even enjoy, I've got my own accounts with NinjaTrader and everything, but I trade mostly my Apexes simply because they pay so well. Years ago, these companies used to do 50-50, and then they went to 70-30, and then nowadays they're 90-10. So, it's almost a no-brainer in my opinion, except for the fact that tax-wise, trading futures is a better tax result if you do the 60-40 rule. Okay. But the beauty of this is they just keep sending those checks, Okay. And all you got to do, you go through a company called deal.com, and then they cut you the checks basically to your account. It's like an ACH withdrawal type thing. It just shows up in your bank account. Okay. Let's see, Eric, anyone looking to get involved in futures needs to jump through the hoops of a funded trading program to prove they can trade and manage. Absolutely. But the thing is, Eric, that, I kind of call it this, okay? We've got a news channel here in Oklahoma that has a little program called Pay It Forward. And it's people that have literally given, up something to teach somebody something else or whatever. And they do a little deal where they give them like $400, that type of thing, people that have helped other people out and things. Well, Charles and I, when we met back in 2008, we decided at that point that we were going to literally teach ourselves to trade futures very, very well. Well, once we learned how to trade futures very, very well, we felt like giving back. Okay. For instance, this little trader right here, that little trader right there, that little trader has been in development for literally 8 years. And I have personally spent out of my own pocket just this year alone, $30,000. I spent probably that amount last year, if not more. And I'm giving you one of the best tools you can possibly put in your arsenal. Nobody has anything like this. I mean, if you want to take trades with bar close, you can even go auto, and if a bar closes down, you take the next one. You get yourself $300 or $400, you hit the button. We've got auto region. You could take this trade right here and just keep adding to it until you got $1,000 bill. See what I mean? Let's see, Patricia, I'm curious, one was to trade the range from 4 ticks to something else, how it affects the way the trades present to enter and exit. Also, how long does it take for a 4 tick bar to form? Is that what you're asking? Well, a 4 tick bar is not a time-based bar. Okay, so basically what a 4 range bar is, and this was the secret to us, the success that we've had with Viper, is that everything does what we call lightning. Okay, if you look at this, for instance, I've got an indicator called lightning. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. See how that's stair-stepping down, stair-stepping down? When did it start stair-stepping up? When do you think? Well, for one thing, you can draw trend lines on your charts, and you can get out of these trades at a pretty good place to begin with, like right through there. Okay, because that's a trend line break. And I've got a little tool on here that'll actually take you out called wedge, right up here. But when this started not going down anymore was when you started stair stepping back up and you took this little swing out right across here. For sure it wasn't heading down anymore. But even here, if you get these little double bottoms, I call this the hesitation factor. When I get an instrument to start to hesitate, you know, like for instance, you get a bar up and a bar up and a bar down, a bar up and a bar down and all that, they're hesitating. So what are they going to do? They're going to retrace on you. So when they start hesitating, you get out of the trade. So if you got out down here, got back in here, got you another nice trade, right? So what is oil doing at this moment? Well, had another mid-band trade. That beautiful mid-band trade. Are these phantom trades right through here that I was teaching a little while ago? Is that a phantom trade? Phantom short. Let me get rid of the long or the short on mid-band. See these phantom shorts? Box them in. So if you boxed in this trade, you got your 10 ticks. That's what you're interested in. It went back in the box, but it never took your box out. That's where I like to stay in a trade like that for a runner, is box it, and then you still kissed it again, no big deal, and you're riding a runner. You could be riding that runner even now still. But our stuff will catch these trades because I can tell you where the next trade is by what I'm seeing right now. And all you got to do is draw on your charts. Okay? So basically, this is not a sales pitch webinar or anything like that. This is simply to let you know that I call trades in real time in my trading room 5 days a week. I have webinars once a week to teach you how to see these trades in real time. Patricia, on your question, no, there's more trades that we look for than just mid-band and phantom. You know, like for instance, would I take this breakout trade right here when it broke my line in the sand long short? Right across there? In a heartbeat. And if my room was open, I'd have that line drawn and you'd be able to get that trade. Let's see. So basically what we look for at Viper, first off, okay, when you go into the room, first thing out of the gate, when I open the room at 7:45-ish, right in that area is when I try to open the room, about 15 minutes till 8, you're looking for that first trade that I call. You could literally, you know, if you did 3 contracts on this trade and you heard me call 76 in real time, could you have actually done 3 contracts and been up about $600 on that trade? Yeah, and a lot of our people did, because that's what I'm doing in that room, is calling these trades in real time. After you get out of the room, can you take these trades that I teach? Absolutely. What about that trade? That trade? Phantom trade. Mid-band trade. I've also got an auto Fibonacci that you're, you know, it's part of your arsenal. You can actually draw your auto fib right there on your chart and see when that thrust back and retraced. It came close to 50%, but my predictor nailed it. So you take the trade, you're in the trade, you put a nice tight stop inside your box. There's your box, and you don't want it to really go back inside that box. Okay? So again, this is not a webinar to, I mean, if you go to my trial link, to give an example, you're not going to put in a credit card. I don't do that. You're going to simply go to our website, and let's see, is this my trial right here? Let me see. No, that's my chat. That's my contact. That's my member. That's my trial. There we go. Trial. Free trial. $0. Live trading room, live training, starter training videos. I'm even going to put some more videos up because this is a kind of an important deal for me here. because what we've done is we've added things to Object Trader that I personally paid for out of pocket, by the way. Like I was saying, I paid about 30 grand on Object Trader just this year. And matter of fact, the figure that I paid for February was $5,287.50. The reason I remember that is because I wrote him the check. Okay, but he's a very good programmer, so he does what I commissioned him to do. Okay, and in January, I think I paid about the same amount, pretty close anyway. Okay, so I'm always doing something to help you to trade even better. Okay, but again, you don't have to worry about putting up a credit card or anything. You just simply put in your first name, last name, email address, phone number. We do need your machine ID from NinjaTrader, and the reason for that is because we can turn those scripts on and off. So we do it by NinjaTrader's license feature, and we can, well, we make sure that you're turned on. And I'll even give you, instead of 7-day trial, we're giving a 10-day trial right now. So that gives you 2 weeks, basically, is what it amounts to, because we don't count weekends. You know, technically this is 2 weeks anyway, because a 7-day trial, there's 5 days in a week that aren't weekends. So 7 days will give you the next week anyway, and then we don't, you know, it makes it a 10-day trial, in other words. We're live about 30 minutes before the market opens, Eric, on your question. Well, 45, because I do, as a rule, open that room by 7:45 and 7:50 is the latest I ever go into it. And you'll find too that I am not one of those that misses. I don't call in sick. I open my room every single day. Now, we do close for certain holidays, obviously, because the market closes. Yeah, you can go to the website. If you want to do the trial, just go to homepage, vipertradingsystems.com, click and sign up for the free trial. Now, wait for about 30 minutes because I'm going to go ahead and put the newest scripts on for you. I wouldn't go to 8.1 just yet, Billy Ray. It's up to you. I mean, if you're on it, that's fine. We are still staying on 8.027 on NinjaTrader. I don't like to have to log in every single time I get on. I hate that. I've been on 8. Whatever that one you said, 8.1.3 or whatever it is now. Andrew, on your question, are there PDFs to learn to use the system, or is all watching videos? Well, basically, it's watching videos. I do plan on, since we've now completed Object Trader, to go ahead and start some PDFs and documents and things like that. Okay, now in the trial, you don't get as much as you do as a member. The members can actually get into this area right here, and they've got members training, free videos, weekly links, Object Trader, Ninja 7, download the latest scripts. On a trial, you actually get into, well, I'm going to still open up some extra videos for you. I've got them ready to go, plus the scripts. What I wanted to do was to kind of, you know, basically introduce this to everyone. And then I'm going to go into a little program that I've got, and I'll activate those scripts for you to download. Bear with me a second. I'll show you what I do. Bear with it just a second. This thing comes up with all kind of Facebook stuff and everything. By the way, we're on Facebook now too. Not that that matters, but anyway, we are. Okay, let's see. So what I want to do is I want to go to my sites and go to my website, vipertradingsystems.com, and my products. Okay, you have an area on here called Training for Object Trader Trial. You'll be able to download your latest scripts and everything. Now, this module won't come up for you, but you'll be in here. Okay, and then under your free trial, let me go back to this real quick. Under your free trial is going to be the scripts themselves. Download Viper scripts. See, I've got it in draft mode right now, but this is the newest script. It's called OT Boss 2 Trial. I'm getting ready to turn it on to published, and then you'll be able to download that. Okay, and it'll come automatically. What happens when you actually sign up for a trial with us? It will actually go to our CRM, which is a customer relations management program that we use, and it will send you a user ID and a password. You'll be able to utilize the free video library. You'll be able to utilize the trial, along with, I'm going to let you have some access to some of the member stuff too for the next 10 days. Okay, the pricing we don't have for an annual, Eric, but give me a shout. I have worked that out with people before. Yeah, just give us a shout if you'd like to know. One thing, just like I was saying though, that we actually absolutely do, and that is the fact that these trades are called in real time. Notice that I drew that box just a minute ago. Could you have made 200 bucks on that trade just then? Oh, the beauty of it, David, is you'll actually get the newest version of Object Trader, which is OT Boss. Now, there is one caveat to the trial. The trial will not work with live data, or pardon me, with live accounts, and it won't work with let's see, what else was it? Oh, auto trading. The reason for that is because I want people to see that the type of trades that I teach are what works, not turning it on auto and letting it take every trade, because it's not what it's designed for. We are a stair-stepping mid-band trade, stair-stepping mid-band trade, as long as it ratchets down, ratcheted down, another mid-band trade, phantom trade, mid-band trade, ratcheted down again, and that one that I just drew the box on, if you happen to just do that with your live account just a few minutes ago, you just made yourself probably 160 bucks if you did 2 contracts. So the scripts that you'll get will be the OT Boss trial, OT Boss 2 trial, and you'll have every feature that I've shown here. That includes the new predictor above, predictor below. It includes the mid-band trader, the phantom trader, the wedge trade, bar close trades, region auto. It includes all that. It's just like our scripts. The only thing we do is simply turn off the live stuff, simply because when you're trading this thing with your live money, you better know what you're doing. Okay, you know, trading is serious business. If you just turn on somebody else's script and start trading them, then you need to actually, you know, check in for a little bit of head examination, because you don't want to do that. You want to learn it. When I taught my son to trade this system, I'll never forget what he said to me. He said, "Dad, this is like drinking out of a fire hose." And I said, "Well, son, it's also like eating an elephant." "And how do you eat an elephant?" He said, "Well, one bite at a time." I said, "Duh, that's it. You've got to learn each feature of it and trade it accordingly. And then you'll be a master." I can trade this thing with every feature on here. Probably only a handful of people can, to be truthful, because most people just use a region or a region auto. Maybe they use a trend line like wedge. But I can tell you that most people don't use every feature on here. But you can if you want to, because I designed them for you to do that. Nobody has anything like Object Trader. Ninja Trader even tried to accuse us of trying to copy Chart Trader. And we said, look, this isn't Chart Trader. This will take region boxes. I can even set this up to take a region trade, plus, minus, close plus, touch minus, close minus, anything I want to do. What if you were in a big old trend like we were this morning with oil? At the time that I actually drew this, we were buying the bottom, selling the top. Buying the bottom, selling the top. You can actually set this to do that. And it kept doing this. 10 ticks, 10 ticks, 10 ticks, 10 ticks. That's all you got to do. And those boxes will fire based on, and you got to learn them, you know, because see that T button and B button? That means the top of the region. Let me see if I can get that to open up. Okay, if you think about this, this is the top of the region and this is the bottom of the region, okay? So if I want to set a region to buy outside and short outside, I would just simply long out, short out. What if I wanted to buy this and then sell it as it got to the top? You know, once it made a top, What if I wanted to buy, sell? Buy, got my 10 ticks, stopped out at break even on my runner. Buy again, same thing, 10 ticks, stopped out at runner. Buy again, short again. See, so you can actually set this for short at the top, buy at the bottom. Real easy. It's just a matter of just which button you want turned on, bottom, top. The way it defaults is automatically long outside, short outside. But this is a toggle. You can set this for long outside, long inside, inactive, and you can do it on both T and B buttons. And it's the same thing on the wedge. If you do a wedge trade, let's go over here to the left of the chart, right of the chart, pardon me. A wedge trade, let me get rid of these. A wedge trade is simply, it draws a ray on your chart. Well, right now you're already in a trade, right? But what if you wanted to actually take that trade if it broke that wedge? Then that's the bottom wedge, that's the top wedge. You just simply set this for short outside or long outside if it happened to take that trend line out. See what I mean? If you have the automated trading boxes on, do you have to put in the stops or do the boxes also close? You can set it any way you want on that, Patricia. You know, for instance, let's just take this little, this is late, but I'll show you how it triggers. We're going to definitely be late, but I can't get hurt on this account today. That's 4110, I'm fine. Now this wouldn't be where I'd sell this, it would be up here where I have my box drawn. But I want to show you how it actually will trigger the trade. If it'll actually touch my line. See, I've got it set on touch. So if it actually touches that line, it will fire the trade. And again, I'm saying don't take this trade with your live money. And that is my live money with Apex. See there how it does? So I'm in the trade. It's that easy. Okay. I can put my stop wherever I want to. I can even set it for reverse if I want to. I can set it on what's called exit on close. That's a really nice feature on Object Trader because you can actually set the trade where it has to close above the line to ever get you out of the trade by simply setting exit on close. Isn't that cool? Okay. So basically what I was showing you there is just how you can take a trade. Now, I wouldn't have done that obviously because your trade was, we're retrace traders. And I just gave up 30 bucks on my actual Apex account just to show you how it does fire the trade. Okay, but we can go ahead and take it off the table or just leave it to where if it touches the line, it takes me out. I'm not worried about that because 4,000 bucks for the day is plenty. Okay. So I think I took quite a bit of your time. I will send out the video of this. Watch this actually take you out when it touches that line. See there how easy that works? It's pretty cool little featured tool. You can even turn on like bar closes. You know, if that bar closes down, you can fire a trade. You can do anything you want. You can turn on bar close up or down. It'll take whichever trade. You know, if that fires up, see it fires a long trade. You can do all that with this little tool. Okay, it's got all that built into it. Let's see if we can get back to our 4,040 just for the fun of it. That's good enough. I made 10 bucks, didn't I? Now I made 20. See if it's going to take, I don't like that. It's trying to roll over. But the whole thing is, see, I just simply turned that on with bar close and I got my 4,040 bucks back. Pretty easy to do. Okay. So we'll go ahead and wrap. Just to let you know, you'll have the exact same tool that I'm using here, the exact same indicators I'm using here. It's free of charge to you for 10 days trial. I want you to come into the trading room every single day that you can because you'll learn. And the key to it is learning. You know, that little trade, $200, that little trade, $200. Now you're going against the trend. See what I mean? But we just turned on just to show you how the little bar close feature works too. Because all of this works in real time. I can move my stop in real time. I can even add to a trade. If that bar closes up, I could add one if I wanted to. You know, it's just up to you how you trade. Okay. So let's go ahead and wrap it for now. Thanks everybody for coming. By the way, you'd be looking for shorts, not longs. Okay. Any other questions before we wrap? We've got some definitely good tools. You'll love them. And if you come in with us, if you decide to later on, take your trial, enjoy it. And then if you decide to come in with me, I'll promise you that I'll call these trades in real time. We'll take some of these trades in real time. And I open the room right in this little sweet spot right here. That's when I opened the room, was right there. That was actually our first trade, but I opened the room right down in here, but I told everybody, don't take a trade right now. Wait for the trade to come to you. So we got that trade. Okay. So let's go ahead and wrap this webinar. Thanks everybody for coming, and I'm sorry I ran it a little bit longer than I normally do, but I think you got some good information from me. Okay. So we'll see you at the webinar tonight. You're invited, and I'll send those links out too. All right, everyone. Thanks again. I'm going to get my 40/40 back and just turn it off. I trade literally just the first 2 hours. I don't like to trade during the day because I get a lot of support with Viper trading systems, and I don't want to trade at that time. All right, thanks again.